tumble over each other, clawing for the ladder. Lon is the last to leave the conning tower. As his head breaks the surface, the tropical sun blinds him. He expects machine gun fire. Instead, he sees something impossible. An American carrier task group, USS Guadalcanal, 5 destroyers, and Wildcat fighters circling overhead like vultures. And one of those destroyers, USS Chatelainai, is already lowering boarding parties. They are not here to sink U-505. They are here to take her alive. Lange stares, stunned, as American sailors swarm over his boat with pistols and Tommy guns. His crew, 59 exhausted, oil-blackened men, line up on the casing, hands raised. No one fires. A young American lieutenant approaches Lange, salutes crisply, and in perfect German says, "Kapitan Leutnant Lange, your boat is now a prize of the United States Navy. You are prisoners of war." Lange almost laughs at the absurdity. His invincible Type 9C, the Wolf that sank 8 Allied ships, captured intact? Goebbels will have a heart attack. As the American boarding party disappears below to stop the scuttling charges his men failed to fully set, Lange feels the last shred of control slip away. Handcuffs click around his wrists. The war for him and his men is over. But what awaits them on the other side of surrender? Starvation? Beatings? The rumors every U-boat man whispered about British camps. Lange steals one last look at U-505, his boat, now flying the Stars and Stripes.
The Silent Crossing. Shackled below decks, North Atlantic, 5 to 10 June 1944. The air in the destroyer's brig is thick with diesel, vomit, and fear. 59 German submariners sit chained to benches, knees touching, swaying with every roll of USS Pillsbury. No one speaks above a whisper. Harold Long stares at the steel deck between his boots. He is still wearing his salt-stiff leather trousers, the Knight's Cross at his throat now feeling like a noose. A single bare bulb swings overhead, painting shadows that look like bars long before they reach England. The Americans feed them. Rio food, hot coffee, tinned Spam, white bread with actual butter. The first bite makes Obersteuermann Hans-Joachim Krug gag. He is convinced it is poisoned. Long forces himself to chew slowly, eyes locked on the Marine Guard, waiting for the joke to end. It never does. Every 4 hours another tray appears. The guards even hand out American cigarettes, Lucky Strikes, without asking for anything in return. One young matras starts to cry silently, shoulders shaking, because the last time he tasted real butter was Christmas 1939. At night, the destroyer escorts plow through heavy seas. Water sluices through the scuppers above their heads. Sometimes it drips cold onto their necks. Long tries to sleep sitting upright and dreams of the moment the scuttling charges should have gone off. If only the Kingstons had opened fully. If only the sea had taken them. Better a clean death than whatever the British have prepared. On the 6th day, a rumor snakes through the compartment. They are not going to America. The course has turned northeast. Britain. The island the propaganda newsreels call the Starving Lion, bombed nightly, rationed to desperation. The men exchange glances. They have sunk her ships, strangled her lifelines. Now they will see the result up close. Hollow-eyed civilians, soup kitchens, children begging for crusts. It is the one thing that still brings grim smiles to cracked lips. Let them see what their U-boats have achieved. June 11th. Land smell drifts down the ventilators. Wet grass, coal smoke, something faintly floral. The engine slow. Boots thunder overhead. Up on the deck, Krauts! Move! Blindfolds are tied roughly, hands still cuffed. They shuffle up the ladder into cool, damp air that tastes of freedom and rain. A train waits on the dockside. British voices, clipped and calm. Nothing like the screaming guards of their imagination. Someone whispers, "Liverpool? Glasgow?" No one answers. The blindfolds stay on for the entire journey south. Hours later, the train screeches to a halt. Doors slam open. "Raus! Schnell!" But the voice is almost bored, like a conductor late for tea. The blindfolds come off inside a cavernous brick shed lit by gas lamps. Red Cross nurses, women, hand each man a mug of hot, sweet tea and a thick corned beef sandwich. Rio meat, Rio bread. Lung's hands shake so badly he nearly drops the mug. Then the guards march them outside into the English night. Waiting lorries, no beatings, no dogs, just the low murmur of curious British soldiers peering over the fence, whispering, "Bloody U-boat men, look at the state of 'em." As the convoy rolls south through blacked-out countryside, Long catches glimpses through the canvas flaps. Neat hedgerows, cows standing asleep in fields, a village pub still glowing faintly under taped windows. Nothing burning, no ruins, no starving mobs. He closes his eyes and feels the first crack appear in the wall Goebbels built inside his head. Tomorrow they will reach the camp the British call HMS Ferret. Tomorrow,
The smell
the
of
real
sizzling
shock
beef.
begins.
First evening at HMS Ferret, Derbyshire, 12th June 1944. The gates of HMS Ferret swing shut behind the last lorry with a clang that sounds almost polite. Peak District mist clings to the barbed wire like cigarette smoke. Floodlights snap on, harsh white, revealing rows of low brick huts that look more like a tidy boarding school than the hell Long has spent years imagining. A Royal Navy lieutenant with a clipboard and a bored expression reads names in alphabetical order. No shouting, no rifle butts. Just Meyer, Josef, Lange, Harald. Step forward, please. As if they are guests arriving late for dinner. They are marched, hands now uncuffed, past British sailors who nod hello instead of spitting. One even calls out, "Welcome to England, lads! Mind the mud!" The Germans walk in stunned silence, boots squelching, waiting for the trick. Then they smell it. Fat hitting a hot pan, onions, real butter. Seared meat. The column halts outside the mess hall. Double doors swing open and warm yellow light spills across the gravel. Inside, long tables are already set. White tablecloths, steel cutlery, pitchers of water with actual ice cubes clinking. A British petty officer claps his hands once. "Right then, dinner is served. Form 2 lines, please." The first man in line, Machinist Otto Becker, 20 years old, hollow-cheeked from months of short rations, freezes when a cook in a tall white hat slides a plate toward him. On it, a thick rump steak, pink in the middle, juices pooling. 2 fried eggs sunny side up. A heap of golden chips still spreading from the fat. A basket of crusty white bread and a dish of butter the size of a fist. Becker stares so long the cook laughs. "Go on, son, it's not poisoned. We checked." One by one the Germans file past, plates loaded. Some men's hands tremble so violently they spill gravy on the tablecloths. No one scolds them. A Royal Marine even steadies Long's elbow when he almost drops his tray. They sit. 59 battle-hardened U-boatmen in torn uniforms, grease still under their fingernails, surrounded by the enemy, eating like kings. Absolute silence for the first 30 seconds. Only the scrape of knives, the soft tear of bread. Then someone whispers, "Mein Gott." Another starts to cry openly, face buried in his sleeves so the others won't see. Long cuts into the steak. Juices run red. The first bite is so tender he has to close his eyes. He hasn't tasted meat this good since before the war began. Across the table, Oberleutnant Zorsi Paul Meyer leans over and murmurs in disbelief, "Harold, this is fresh beef, not tinned, not horse, fresh." Long can only nod, mouth full, throat tight. At the end of the hall, a gramophone crackles to life. Glenn Miller, In the Mood. British sailors tap their feet while clearing plates. One even winks at a German bootsman who still hasn't moved, too overwhelmed to eat. Long finally finds his voice. He turns to the nearest guard, a wiry Englishman with a Lee Enfield slung casually over his shoulder. "Why?" he asks in halting English. "Why do this for us?" The guard shrugs, lighting a woodbine. "Orders, sir. Besides, you're sailors, same as us. War's topside. Down here we're just trying to get through the bloody thing." The gramophone needle lifts. Silence rushes back in. That night, lying on clean sheets, in a hut that smells of carbolic soap and fresh paint, Harald Long stares at the ceiling and feels something inside him break open. Not defeat. Something worse. Doubt. If Britain can feed her enemies steak while half the world says she is starving, what else have they been lied to about? Tomorrow the interrogations begin. Tomorrow the British will start asking gentle questions over cups of real coffee and more of that impossible bread. Tonight, for the first time in years, no one in Hut 7 snores. They are all awake, listening to their own thoughts devour everything they once believed.